Hi everyone, my name's Ben.
And I'm Steven.
And today, we are going to showcase our program, the
Grademaster!
Alright, so picture this. It's the weekend before finals. You have been working hard all quarter, and now you only have 5 finals that stand between you and your summer break. But it's coming down to the wire, and your time is limited. Every hour counts. So how will you divide your valuable time to study for each of your classes? You don't want to make the classic mistake of studying too much for one final when you really should be studying for another one. You need something that can give you a good indication of which finals you need to concentrate on and spend the most time on. So wouldn't it be awesome if you had a program where you could input your desired grade that you want to end the class with, along with the grades of all your assignments throughout the quarter, and then the program will give you the grade you need on the final to achieve this? This fantasy has become a reality with the Grademaster.
We designed this program with college students in mind, but it could also be used by high school students. Our program requires no prior experience with MATLAB or any other type of coding software. It is intuitive, easy to use, and simple. The program is also very quick. After a few moments of putting in the bare minimum of scores and grades into the Grademaster, students will know exactly what grade they need to get on a final to obtain, let's say, a 90% in the class.
So, you're probably wondering how the Grademaster works. Here's the short summary. The program will prompt the user to enter what grade they want to end the class with. Then, the program will ask the user to enter the weight of the first category. Then you can enter the score of that weighted category. Then, move on to the next weighted category and you can enter the score there. You'll go through this until you'll have filled out all the weighted categories, and then you can enter the weight of your final. Then, the program will output the score you need to get on the final to get your desired grade in the class. Here's Steven to do a more in-depth description on the specific mechanics of the Grademaster.
Now you've had the skinny, here's a more complicated gander of the pistons working within the Grademaster. We then begin a while loop, asking the user to input their desired grade in the class. The user types the desired grade from 0 to, and including, 100. The user advances to the next big while loop. So what happens when the user types anything other than a value between 0 and 100? The nested if-else-if else statements are there to serve as an insurance for the user. The appropriate else statement is activated, which displays a respective error message and sends the user back to the input prompt at the top of the loop. When the user advances to the next section, things get a little bit more complicated. The user is asked to type their first weighted category percentage. Before the loop, you can see these other variables, z and m. So z is a conditional statement just like the previous k we experienced. If z doesn't equal 1, this big while loop here ends, and the user advances to the next big while loop, asking them for more input. Now m is a variable that changes to tell the user what assignment they are currently inputting. We also have these 3 empty matrices, as you can see right here. Section weight matrix, as expected, collects each inputted section weight. Grades collective matrix collects each assignment score. And the counter keeps track of how many assignments were inputted for each weighted category. These 3 matrices keep counting and storing information until the user is done inputting grades. The user enters this loop and is asked to input the percentage of their first weighted category. Just as you expected using nested if-else-if-else statements, the user advances to the next small, or nested, while loop when they input an appropriate value. Or else they receive an error and are bumped back to the prompt asking to collect their weighted score. So when the user enters an appropriate weighted percentage, that value is collected in the section weight matrix, and the next small while loop continues. In this while loop, the user is asked to type in scores for assignment number 1. The user types in their first grade and weighted category number 1. When typed correctly, the assignment grade is collected in the grades collective matrix, and the counter begins counting assignments. The user is bumped to the final small while loop, right here, asking them to input assignment number m, which is 2 within this weighted category. Now, with the reliability of these nested error statements, the user may advance to assignment number m, which is assignment number 3 in this case, and may keep entering assignment grades. These grades are stored in the grades collective matrix. The input prompt changes after an assignment grade is entered, asking the user to input a score for the next assignment, m, or they can type a negative number to stop the counter and allow the user to seemingly advance to our final big while loop. This is achieved by making z equal to 0. So you pretty much have an idea of how this program works. The user is bumped to the next big while loop that uses almost the same nested statements as before, with values continuing to be stored in each matrix. The main difference is that the user can type negative values for any assignment, that's not assignment 1, to move on to the next weighted category. In the final while loop, the user types the weighted percentage of the final. Otherwise, you'll get the same else if statements that we've talked about ad nauseum, telling you what you did wrong and redirecting you to the initial question. Then we move on to the grade calculator. Within a for loop, all weighted categories are added up. And after the loop ends, the necessary final score needed to obtain the desired class grade is displayed in a statement right here. Now, what you've all been waiting for, let's see how the Grademaster functions.
Alright, so here we are. Now we're going to give you a quick demo of our program and how the Grademaster works. So first, go up and hit run, and it'll give you our first prompt. So welcome to the Grademaster, type desired grade for the class. So if you want an 85%, you're just going to type 85. Now, we're not scrubs. We want a 90% in this class. We want an A. So now type percentage value of the weighted category number 1. So let's say my homework category is only 10%, as a lot of classes are, so you type 10. Now, what's my grade in homework? Let's say I'm averaging about a 90% homework, so we're going to type 90 there. Now, here we are with the next assignment. Let's say I accidentally hit enter without typing anything in. Oh, please enter value. The loop sends you back to enter in here. Now, let's move on to the next category. You type -1. All right, let's say my quiz category is about 40%, right? But I'm stupid, and I type 400. Oops, error. You can't have a percentage over 100 in a weighted category. So that error sends it right back to type into weighted category number 2. So let's say I get it right this time. I get 40. So we type 40 in. Now we're going to type the grade in my quiz category. Now, let's say what if I've taken 3 quizzes, and on those quizzes, I got a 90%, an 80%, and a 70%. So those are my quiz grades, and our program allows you to type in different grades that all go into the category, and then the score for the weighted category will be taken from the average of those quiz grades. So now let's move on to the next category. So you type in a -1 to move on. Now my last category is my final category. So instead of entering the final into weighted category number 3, you type -1 to move on to advance to weight of the final. So now we type in the weight of the final. Now if we add it up, so 10% homework, 40% quizzes, that means our final will be worth 50%. So you type in 50 here. And boom, there it is. Minimum grade needed on the final to achieve to get 90% of the class is a 98%. So I got my work cut out for me. I need to do pretty well in this final.
Let's say I set my standards really low and I only want to get a 35 in the class. The weighted category number 1 is worth 50%. Now, I set my standards low and I'm doing phenomenally well in this class. I'm getting 100s, 90s, 99, even extra credit on my 4th assignment. Bam! That's all I have for the homework category. I'm doing great. Now, we'll make the final, we'll advance to the final. That's going to be worth 50% of the grade. And as you know, I've been doing really phenomenal in this. I probably got over 100% in the first weighted category. So what I'm going to need to get on the final is a -29.75%. We got this message that comes up that says, wow, you are doing so well in this class that you need a negative score to obtain your desired grade. So what if I set my standards too high? Well, the Grademaster will definitely let you know that you did that. Alright, let's say I want to get a 95% in the class. And right now, my first weighted category, let's say it's just worth 50%, like last time, it's the homework category. On my first assignment, I got a 20%. On my second essay, I got a 45%. On the third and final essay, I got 15%. I set the standards high. We're going to advance to the final. Let's see what grade I need to get in the final. I need to get a 163.33% to get 95 in this class. Hopefully my teacher offers extra credit or curves the final because it looks like I'm going to need this pretty high grade, as you can tell.
Alright everyone, thanks for making it all the way through our user guide tutorial on how to use our program, the Grademaster. Hopefully it can save you some time in the future of knowing how much to study and what you need to study for to get those grades that you want.
As always, thank you very much for your time and good luck in all of your future endeavors. Bump it!